Our call to worship this morning comes from the William Ellery Channing, the Reverend William Ellery Channing. The great end in religious instruction is not to stamp our minds upon the young, but to stir up their own, not to make them see with our eyes, but to look inquiringly and steadily with their own, not to give them a definite amount of knowledge, but to inspire a fervent love of truth, not to form an outward regularity, but to touch inward springs, not to bind them by ineradicable prejudices to our particular sect or peculiar notions, but to prepare them for impartial, conscientious judging of whatever subjects may be offered to their decision, not to burden the memory, but to quicken and strengthen the power of thought, not to impose religion upon them in the form of arbitrary rules, but to awaken the conscience, the moral discernment. In a word, the great end is to awaken the soul, to excite and cherish spiritual life.
As Florence lights our chalice, Naomi and Juniper will lead you in the words that we use each time we gather. But today we're going to read them a little differently. We're going to alternate between the English and the Spanish as they lead you, and you can find the words here on the screen.
We kindle this flame.
Encendemos esta llama
To remind ourselves
para recordarnos
of the light of truth,
de la luz de la verdad,
the warmth of community,
la calidez de la comunidad
and the fire of commitment.
y el fuego del compromiso.
Good morning. Welcome to worship at the First Unitarian Universalist Society of Burlington. Today is Sunday, May 19th. I'm Jen Schulmeyer, a youth advisor for our congregation's high school students. As a Universalist faith community rooted in the heart of Burlington, we warmly welcome all to the shared work of building beloved community and making meaning in our lives. The religious community is not guided by a creed, but by a commitment to each other and to shared values that include love, compassion, service, justice, and truth. As a part of that commitment to truth, we acknowledge that our UU Meeting House and our homes, our schools, and places of work are built on the traditional lands of the Western Abenaki people who still live here. We give thanks to the opportunity to share this place, to protect it, and to care for those who call it home. The structure of today's service is a bit different than we're used to. Instead of a sermon today, we will have music, stories, and some congregational activities brought to you by our children and our youth. This has always been one of my favorite services of the years for many reasons. One important reason is that for the past 8 years, I've had the great pleasure of getting to know the youth of our society through my role as a youth advisor. Each year we have youth with different strengths and interests, and each year I always feel impressed and awed at the amazing young people that are being brought up in our community. In past years, we've had a youth service brought to us by just the high school age youth. However, today, we get to hear from and see children of all ages in the faith span development age range. I invite you to fully let in the joy, the wonder, the energy of our youngest members that are bringing us today. If you'd like to follow along with our order of service, you can scan the QR code in the front of your gray hymnal or visit our website, usociety.org, and click the green button that says Live Stream Service. There you'll find the order of service as well as a button labeled New to Our Community. If you're new to our community and feel comfortable, would you please raise your hand so we can extend you a special welcome? Welcome. If you'd like us to connect with you, you can fill out the New to Our Community form on our website, or there's a paper version in the front of the pew that you can fill out and drop in the offering basket later during our time to do that. We also have a designated welcome ambassador who's able to answer questions about the society. Who is that person today? Is it? Good morning. Welcome ambassadors are back there. As most of you know, last Sunday we didn't meet in person because the week before our congregation experienced a high number of COVID cases after our joyful installation the week previous. We're so thankful to be able to pivot solely to the online service last week. And returning to in-person meetings this morning, we're also grateful for. We recognize that some folks are here in person and would have been here last week, and recognize that some folks are not yet ready to come back for the risk of illness is too high. We recognize that each of us has a discerning process to assess our risks and vulnerabilities, leading to decide what precautions we must each take. We ask that if you have symptoms of a contagious condition to watch online. If masking or sitting social distance helps you feel more comfortable or safer, we honor that. Please know here in this room, we continue to keep the same best ventilation setup we've been following since we have established how to best get the airflow in this space. Now for just a couple of announcements. Everyone's invited to join coffee hour outside in the front lawn after the service. It's a great time to meet new friends and learn more about things going on here at First UU. Additionally, if the service moves you to be more involved with our young folks, you can ask myself about youth advising or Erica about volunteering with the younger groups. Friends, whatever it took you to get here, where you've come from, wherever burdens or joys you're carrying, you belong here, your whole self is welcome here. Come, let us worship together.
Good morning. We will be leading a song called Put Your Roots Down. We're going to sing it one part at a time, and then when we gesture to you, you're going to repeat after us. It's about rooting yourself in the earth and just feeling what's around you and being present. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen.
Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen.
Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen.
Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen.
'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones.
'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stone
Is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones.
Is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones.
Are you listening? Are you listening? Now together. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen. 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across the stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Are you listening? Are you listening? Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen. Put your roots down, put your feet on the ground. You can hear the earth sing if you listen. 'Cause the sound of the river as it moves across your stones is the same sound as the blood in your body as it moves across your bones. Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening? Thank you.
Good morning. This is Blake's clue in that pretty soon we're going to ask him to come in because it's time for us to say goodbye. But before he comes in, or while he does, I went to the roller derby last night. And it was a joy, even though Green Mountain lost, Syracuse won. But we did the wave. And I was thinking maybe we could do the wave here. Practice it now. Have Blake come in, say some words that will embarrass him, and then do the wave. So, I'm not sure how to lead you in doing the wave, but I think we're going to start over where Jean is, over on that side, and we're going to bring a wave over here. Jean's going to start us up in it, and then... Yeah, you all don't need that much help. Woo! Let's try it one more time. As Blake comes forward. Okay, excellent. So Blake has been our facilities manager for the past year. And the only reason he's up here right now is that we promised he wouldn't have to give a speech. So it's a gift that he's willing to be face forward, because even though he has been face forward, it's not his favorite. I've been practicing what I would say. And one of the things that's true about Blake, and maybe this is true about every other facilities manager that this congregation has had, but Blake is the only facilities manager I have known in this place, is that we have learned deep compassion and how to deepen our Unitarian Universalist values by the choices this not Unitarian Universalist has made. He has helped propel us into the reality of Burlington, both in how to set boundaries and how to be clear and respectful of everyone, even the people who are doing scary things. Blake has deepened our capacity to live into our values, how to be this place, this park that people think is a public park, but is our responsibility to steward. He has been such an important part of Sunday morning breakfast, such an important part of staff. He has said, I can do these things, but I cannot do these things, and we as an institution cannot ask an individual to do them. We must grow our capacities. He has a sacred yes that he has given us all year, and he has a sacred no that is coming. And he's been so generous that he has said, I'm going to leave in the middle of May, but now that we have hired someone new, I'll stay to make sure that there is a successful transition. So even though this is our goodbye to him, he will be around and his impact will last for a long time. His affection for Burlington lives a long time, and it has been planted in me, and I will let it grow, and I hope we continue to let it grow. Let us wave him goodbye. Woo! Thank you.
At this point, I'd like to invite our Spirit Play group to come forward. And if there are any other children here today who are roughly in that age group, preschool through first or second grade, we would love to have you up here too. For now, you can just sit, because we're going to hear some words from Ginger. We've got Francis, great.
It's a hard act to follow, just want to say.
Sorry, Ginger, just a sec.
Okay.
Once they gather up here, we're going to hear a few words from one of their guides, Ginger Williamson, and they have gathered, sorry. And then we're going to hear a story from one of their other guides, you can wait, Mark Cooperich. And while Mark is reading the story, we're going to reflect on it, you and I, are going to reflect on it through play. And we're going to do that in the back half of the top chancel. And we have lots of materials over there, and we have some middle schoolers who are going to help us get the materials from there to there, okay? First, we're going to hear a few words from Ginger, though, and you can turn around so you can see her if you want to.
Who wouldn't want to? I'm Ginger Williamson. I'm one of the Spirit Play teachers, along with Mark, Greta, Nina, and Celia. Sometimes people are surprised to learn that I continue to volunteer in Lifespan Faith Development, colloquially RE, and now that my kids are grown. Part of the reason I do it is because when my kids were young, Sundays were the hardest day of the week for me. I needed community and a spiritual practice, but I was needed downstairs by my own kids, respectfully, they were Klingons, and the RE program to teach. I continue to participate as a Spirit Play teacher because I want parents of younger kids to get a break and to enjoy the time upstairs in this beautiful space. Another reason is that the kids are awesome and fun. The best way to tell you about our Spirit Play classroom and the fun of being a guide downstairs is to share some of my notes to our team from several Sundays this spring. In mid-March, I wrote, okay, light turnout yesterday. Nina and I were there, and we started with 2 kids. We had a great time with the life cycle of tadpoles and frogs story, which was a perfect fit with the wonder and awe theme upstairs. I think Nina and I had more questions than our kids, but they were both very engaged in the storytelling. Then we did our work time, and happily another child joined us, and they did some great work with amazing rocketry with cardboard together. Nina was super helpful to them, mostly dispensing tape. In late March, I wrote, okay, we had another great morning with our Spirit Play kids, our regulars, a few returning kids, and a new to UU child. Nina and I were in the classroom, and after our gathering and story, the carrot story, we slid right into our work time. The main draw continues to be the spring stage in the cardboard corner and the equally popular hideout corner, but participants were also engaged in the treehouse and the wooden ship. Nina and I had plenty of opportunities to show off our tape-tearing skills and lighting imaginary rockets with imaginary matches, followed by imaginary liftoffs. At one point, when we were winding down and parents were stopping by, 2 friends were lying parallel on separate soft chairs in the reading corner, just talking. It was very affirming and charming to see. No idea what they were talking about. One family told me that their child loves coming downstairs to Spirit Play. I think that speaks to the atmosphere and the freedom to play and imagine in the space, which has been intentionally created by everyone involved. I love that older kids come into the space during coffee hour to enjoy the classroom. And in mid-April, I wrote, hello, quick update today from our Spirit Play classroom. I always say quick update, they are never quick. I write a lot more. Earlier this week, I brought in a hefty amount of cardboard from a friend's Concept 2 purchase, and it was a huge hit. Such a big hit that I actually had to move it outside the classroom so we could do our greetings and story portion without the distraction. The story was Old Turtle, and the kids were definitely engaged, and it led us to talking about the eclipse, and it was a really delightful time. Then off to our work, which was very lively with all the cardboard. Did you know that you can fit 2 kids inside a box designed for a Nordic ski simulator? Now you do. One of the dads was kept busy as the second adult doing tape tearing like me. He was great and totally understood that we are there to support child-focused play. I hope this gives you a flavor of our fun and charm of being part of the Sunday classes. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mark Cooperich. Before I do our thing, I just want to say I've delighted every moment of teaching Spirit Play. It is so cool. And we're going to now do a lamp in every corner by Janine Grossmeyer with some help from the Spirit Play gang. Ready? Many years ago, in the land of Transylvania, in a mountain valley watered by quick rushing streams and shadowed by great forests, there was a village of small wooden houses with dark shingled roofs. The people in the village were of Unitarian religion, and they wanted a church of their own. They decided a church should be set on the hillside. And when they found the right hillside, and they started bringing all their building materials up, they got to work. And way in the back, they started to build the walls of the church. You can imagine how hard it is to carry all those big, heavy bricks up the stairs and building all the walls, stone by stone, and making sure the church has everything it needs to stand up. Over hundreds of years. Note this is a design-build organization. They're designing it as they go. Very popular in Vermont, by the way. So all the people pitched in, and they wanted to get it just right. So they kept building those walls. And they started to make a roof. There we go. And they realized that once they had walls and a roof, that they might need a door in the front so people could get in and out. So somewhere there would be a door. There we go. They put a door in, right? And they knew they wanted a tower, which they did a good job on already. Concept 2 at work. And they realized they needed a bell. They wanted a bell up in that tower so it could ring and people would know what was going on. So they had to get a bell up there, carefully get a bell up there. And the bell works. Oh, look at that. They had a bell. And they needed to put lampstands in for oil lamps because back then there was no electricity. They didn't have electricity, so they wanted to have lampstands for oil lamps. Okay. So, at the end of the day, when it was all finished, all the people of the village, they stood back to admire their beautiful meeting house building. An elder of the village said, "We will eat now," because everyone was so hungry after a long day's work. And later tonight, we will come back and have a worship service in our new church that we built. So the people, they went home. They were very hungry, and they made their meal. They had their comida. But as they were leaving, they noticed something. A child noticed that something was missing. They noticed that even though they had tall iron lampstands along the walls, but there weren't any lamps. The church would be dark when the people came back. What do you think they were going to do to bring light? What are they going to do to bring light? The light will come from the church's people, said one of the children's father. You will see. So when the children and their parents arrived in the evening, it was dark outside. It was dark outside, but as they looked out, little lights were coming up the hill. They were slowly coming up because the people placed their own lanterns on the lampstands, and all of a sudden, the church was as bright as anything, with a light in every corner. So, after they left that evening, each family took their lantern with them. Ooh. We'll leave the others burning. They decided to leave a few lamps on. But that night, as one child got ready for bed, they had a question. And the child said, "What happens if someone else's light goes out?" The mother said, "It won't. The light in the lamp will always burn." The years passed. The children grew up. They kept the lamp polished and clean, and they filled it with oil. It never went out, just like their mother said. And as always, the light of truth and the flame of love from that Unitarian church on the hillside, it continued to grow and show them and us the way. Those villagers carried their light away each time they left. But today we'll leave some glowing, as we aren't quite ready to say goodbye to each other yet. That is the story.
Normally, when a Spirit Play story is over, we ask some wondering questions. So here are some questions that we can all think about today. I wonder what each of you carried with you when you came to this building this morning. I wonder what we need to do to keep our lamps shining brightly together for years to come. And I wonder what we would do without the dedicated guides who work so often with our youngest UUs. So a few weeks ago, some of our kids did a unit on prayer beads, and we made some special UU prayer beads. And I would like to send you both with a set of these, and you'll see me passing them out to some of our other guides who've spent so much time with the kids. Thank you, Mark and Jim.
And it has instructions on the back how to use. Thank you.
I invite you to stand with me as we sing together hymn number 346. 346, come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring you a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream dream with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring you a song of love that arose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love that arose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know you're mine. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love that arose in the winter time. Thank you. Please be seated.
Good morning, everyone. I am the worship associate for today's service, Betsy Ferries. But before I move into spiritual practices, right before the service, I was handed a few more announcements, and they are: the climate justice meeting is not going to be at 12:30, which was on your screen, but at 11:30. They'll be gathering behind me right after the service. They also want you to remember that we're going to have our June 2nd annual picnic, and you can sign up at the coffee hour, or you can even do it online. We need lots of people to come and to bring their goodies. And please know that there is a wonderful card for Blake behind me that you can sign here or again at the coffee hour to send him off with our best wishes. Today we are joyfully celebrating ourselves with a particular emphasis on our children and youth. We at times marvel at their unfiltered joy, their transparent sorrows, and their gratifying affectionate gestures. Perhaps you will bring these youthful emotions to yourselves to this time in the service of recognizing our spiritual practices. How we get in touch with our individual practices vary. For some, it is the show of generosity, spoken meditation, stillness, music, and creating space for our joys, our sorrows, and our gratitude. As a justice-seeking spiritual community, our generosity practice includes sharing half of the offering each Sunday. This month, our offering will be shared with DRUM, Diverse, Revolutionary, Unitarian, Universalist, Multicultural Ministries, in support of their mission and their upcoming annual public worship service. DRUM provides critical resources by and for UU's folks of color in the form of gatherings and pastoral care. This week's pastoral prayer includes sorrow for all those who contracted COVID during the installation, but joy for the recovery process and bodies that bring health back to us. We raise our FUUSB elder, Sylvia Holden, who's recovering from COVID. Sylvia welcomes your well wishes, and if you're inclined, you may want to leave flowers on her front porch. When the music plays and you're so moved, come forward down the side aisles, return according to the center aisle. You will pass the offertory baskets, which you may want to practice a gesture of generosity. There's an option to give online as well. As you move forward toward the front of the sanctuary, where the stone ritual table is located, find a stone or two marking a joy, a sorrow, or a gratitude in your life. Move the stone from one of the baskets onto the table, creating a representation of our shared lives at this particular fleeting moment. For those of us who are attending online or who want to remain seated, we invite you to lean into the musical meditation, allowing an opportunity for stillness and centering as it feels comfortable to you. Come now to a place of peace and holy listening.
Just because I forgot to give an update to Betsy about Sylvia, I want to share this update about Sylvia Holden. She is doing, according to Alfred, her son, mighty well, but she actually ended up in the ICU with pneumonia. So she welcomes your thoughts and prayers, even cards to her home. No visits at this time and no flowers at this time because, right, just so you know, and I'll be visiting with her later today, but just wanted to make sure you had that latest update because this is such an important place for her and she is in our hearts.
Now I'd like to call forward the 2nd through 5th graders, a group known as the UKA. Come on, friends. Now, we have words that we say to dedicate our offering each week. And we're going to read those same words, and these kids are going to lead you in them. But this time we'd like you to, they know a little something about missions. And these words, they include our mission statement as a congregation. And we're going to read them this time with the enthusiasm of superheroes declaring their mission. And we'd like you to join us in that.
With gratitude, we dedicate these gifts in the service of our mission to inspire spiritual growth, care for each other and our community, seek truth, and act for justice.
Bravo. All right, into places, friends, or to the side.
Old Turtle by Douglas Wood. Once long ago, yet not so very long, when all the animals and rocks and waters and trees and fish and all the beings of the world could speak and understand one another, there began an argument. It began softly at first.
Gentle as the mountain that rumbled.
God is a snowy peak high above the clouds.
Fish answered.
God is a swimmer in the dark blue depths of the sea.
Star said,
No, God is a twinkling far, far away. Twinkle, twinkle.
But Robin said,
No, God is a feeling that is very, very close.
And Antelope insisted that God is a runner, swift and free, who loves to leap and race the wind. Willow murmured, God is a tree, always growing and giving. Star said,
God is like the sun, far above all things.
Waterfall thundered, No, God is a river, flowing through the very heart of things. And Robin chirped,
God is gentle.
But Bear growled,
God is powerful. Grr.
And the argument grew louder and louder and louder until
Stop!
The voice rumbled loudly like thunder and whispered softly like butterfly sneezes. The voice seemed to come from
Old Turtle.
Old Turtle hardly ever said anything and certainly never argued. But now Old Turtle spoke.
God is indeed deep and much higher than high. God is the life of the world, always close by, yet beyond the farthest twinkling light. God is gentle, above all things and within all things. God is all that we dream of, all that we seek, all that we come from, and all that we can find. God is.
Old Turtle had never said so much before. All the beings of the world were surprised and got very quiet.
For a while. But then, a voice from the mountains.
I see God swimming in the deepest seas.
And from the oceans.
God is among the snow-capped peaks reflecting the sun.
And from the stars.
God is very close, flowing through the heart of all things.
And Old Turtle smiled.
Oh, that's right.
So I got a necklace for my birthday with a flaming chalice on it, and then I thought about being a Unitarian Universalist, so I wrote this poem. I am a UU. Most Sundays we go to church, but not just a building, a community full of people and joy and kindness, a way to get away from world's threats, but still a volunteer reminding you gently so you can fix them. I am a UU. I am a UU. When I walk into chapel, I feel a surge of emotions. All good. I taste the hot peppermint tea at coffee hour. I live for the singing, the activities, the words, the donating, the eating, the community. I live for it all. That's why I'm a Unitarian Universalist.
I don't know how to follow that other than we're all going to follow it together. Will you stand with me in body or spirit as we sing together hymn number 1023, Building Bridges. Just a few times together like this. Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you. Will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you. Will you reach out to me? With all of our voices and all of our visions, friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Just our voices. Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you. Will you reach out to me? I reach out our voices and all of our visions. With friends we could make such sweet harmony. Friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Thank you. Please be seated.
To you a little bit about what youth group is about to us. And one of the things we always like to do in youth group is play games. So we were thinking, what better way to share with you what youth group is about than through a game? So we created our own Mad Libs.
I'll be asking for different words, different parts of speech, and these two will be going around collecting answers from the congregation. Anyone who's raising their hand. Do you have your pencil, Keats? There we go. All right. The first thing we need is a greeting.
Bonjour.
All right. The next thing we need is a food.
Pineapple.
Good choice. Next up, we need a game.
Chess. Chess.
Chess. Next is an adjective.
Wonderful.
And next, a number. Any number.
$16.
Another adjective.
Beautiful.
A place.
This congregation.
Another adjective.
Furry.
Yet another adjective.
Spicy.
And last but not least, a noun. Any noun.
Dog.
All right. Now we are going to read aloud our youth group Mad Libs. Bonjour. We are looking for new youth group members. We eat lots of pineapple and play lots of chess. The youth advisors are really wonderful. We meet 16 times a month. Sometimes we go on beautiful trips to this congregation. The other youth in our group are furry. We hope you'll come and join us so we can have lots of spicy dog. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Celia Bird. I use she, her pronouns, and I've had the honor of teaching the middle school and high school OWL, which is Our Whole Lives program, for the past 2 years.
And good morning. I am Margaret Overman. I currently use she, her pronouns, and for the past year, I've been teaching the elementary level OWL programming.
We're going to describe to you a little bit about the OWL program. The Our Whole Lives program is a lifespan curriculum that's co-published by the Unitarian Universalist Association and the United Church of Christ. It's been in use since 1999 when it replaced a previous program, and it's one of the most successful programs the UUA has ever offered. It uses religious and secular settings. It's used throughout the US and Canada with culturally appropriate adaptations used in the Philippines and Tanzania. 7 curricula speak to participants' needs, so there's a lot of different age groups. You have kindergarten and first, 4 through 6, 7 through 9, 10 through 12, young adults, adults, and older adults. So if you didn't gather from that, everybody can do our whole lives.
I get choked up talking about OWL. I love OWL so much. So OWL helps people of all ages explore sexuality within a framework of the values of self-worth, responsibility, sexual health, and justice and inclusivity. These values honor sexuality as a good part of the human experience, even as we recognize that aspects of it can be misused and violated. Our UU principles call us to offer these programs. Honest, accurate information about sexuality changes lives. It dismantles stereotypes, assumptions, builds self-acceptance and self-esteem. It fosters healthy relationships, improves decision-making, and has the potential to save lives. So now I want to share some of my personal journey to OWL. As a mother of a child that has been through elementary and middle school level OWL, I knew OWL was potentially possible. It could change lives, and it was great for the kids in the basement and on the weekends. I'd seen firsthand my child's knowledge of this accurate and honest information in his development of friendships, in his earliest relationships. I've heard more than a few stories from other parents and community members regarding the positive impact of OWL programming. So a year and a half ago, I signed the membership book, and I was looking for that way to give back to my community. Erica Reef was telling me, oh, here's ways to get involved in faith development. And she mentioned OWL. And I thought, this could be a good fit. I believe in this programming. It was amazing for my child. I hear people, not even part of UU, talk about you should send your kids to OWL. Bonus, I didn't have to miss out on service to do it. So I said yes. And what I wasn't aware of at that time and hadn't read about in any of the UU websites or facilitator resources that I scoured through early in my commitment, that OWL training resources and programs and co-facilitators can significantly impact and change the lives of the facilitators too. Over the past 14 months, I have attended all of the available OWL training. Yes, elementary, middle, and high school, all adult levels are amazing. I served on the facilitator team for a 5, 6, and K1 series. I found my hope when I didn't even know I was missing it. At a time when the ACLU was tracking 515 anti-LGBTQ bills across the country, and reproductive rights are being challenged in ways I didn't even think was possible. Of course I needed hope. Of course I needed my people. And through my OWL journey, I've realized that honoring, affirming, and facilitating conversations that support authentically living one's identity, their gender identity, expression, their affectional sexual orientation, all aspects of sexuality is my religion. It's something I can do. It's something we can do in our religious spaces all across the country. It's a space I can hold and be present in when holding space and being present feels like all I may be able to do. And as a facilitator, I can both give and receive. And I'm so glad I said yes.
I began my work with OWL in connection to this congregation during the pandemic. And I love the OWL curriculum I trained on and shared with adults and adolescents through Zoom based on small group ministry and then in the 8th and 9th graders in their classroom. But it wasn't until I started attending services with my 3 young children and started participating with them in the youth programming and OWL that I really, truly understood the breadth and depth of this work. Like Margaret, I came to understand that our congregation, this congregation and the UU faith, doesn't just teach this curriculum, you live it. As members of our congregation, we demonstrate love and inclusivity for all people. We welcome every child and every person in their own exploration and discovery of who they want to be and who they will be in the world. We're here to help each other grow. In the OWL classroom, our students learn and explore really challenging topics and life lessons with a vulnerability and engagement and dedication that they don't often find space for elsewhere in their really busy lives. Learning with these young people is an honor. They will lead us into a truly brighter future. As a faith and a congregation, we have a role to play in comprehensive sexuality education. It's big and it's important. We both provide and affirm the importance of comprehensive sexuality education, while we also actively affirm every person and their journey in our midst. From Rob Keithan, I believe that sexuality can be one of the best and most beautiful aspects of our lives, and it can also be one of the worst. Issues and experiences related to sexuality can be tremendously important for us, from decisions about connecting with a partner or not, or having kids or not, or how we feel about our own bodies. And what is a religious community for if not to address the most important things in our lives? For me, the question is not why would we address sexuality in church, but why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we address it openly and honestly so that our experience of sexuality is more likely to be beautiful than to be broken?
Hello, my name is Aya, and I'm an 8th grader from Colchester. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts about the Our Whole Lives program. Participating in the OWL program was truly a unique and eye-opening experience for me. It was engaging, interactive, and very open about topics that are often ignored or hidden from people my age. Right from the start, I could tell that the mentors were committed to helping us develop a full understanding of sexuality without shying away from any subject. The first few weeks were a bit quiet, but as we got to know each other, we really joined together to build a sense of community. By the end of the program, we were discussing topics that many of us had never felt comfortable talking about before. One of my favorite parts of the OWL program were the mentors. They were incredibly supportive and always willing to answer any question we had, no matter how silly or embarrassing it may have seemed. They had an anonymous question box for those of us who didn't want to ask our questions in front of the whole group, and they even treated the joke questions with respect and gave them thoughtful answers. I really appreciated how OWL went beyond the sexuality education taught in my school. It covered a wide range of topics in depth and allowed us to have meaningful conversations and think hard about the issues. Because of this, OWL taught me a lot about issues around sexuality and helped me understand how to have healthy relationships. For example, they taught about the experiences of LGBTQ+ people, the connections between sexuality and society, and the sexual experiences of people with disabilities. OWL was an incredibly fun experience for me. The atmosphere was welcoming, and the people involved were genuinely kind and accepting. OWL not only provided knowledge, but also encouraged us to question assumptions, think for ourselves, and debate with each other. Participating in the OWL program was a great experience. I am so grateful to our mentors and to the UU for running such a wonderful class. It was very fun, and I know it has made a lasting impact on me and has given me many memories. Thank you.
I have some UU prayer beads for these dedicated facilitators, and I think for being brave enough to speak to a congregation that you aren't a part of about something as personal as OWL, you also deserve some prayer beads. So.
Going to ask the youth to come up and help out leading this last hymn together. How many of you know that round kind of game song, Fish and Chips and Vinegar? Okay, there's a few. So it's a layered round with many different ways to sing. And so what the youth have done is they have taken that and they have turned it into something that we can sing together about our community and about living our lives together. But we're going to do it as a round, and we're going to be separating out the congregation into 3 sections. So this first section is from this line to the wall. You're with me. You're number 1.
And from this middle section, from this line here to here, these 2 areas, what you'll be with us 2.
And from this line all the way over to the other wall will be with us.
So over here are number 1s. This is going to be our part. 1, understanding. 2, understanding. 3, understanding. 4, understanding. 5, understanding. 6, understanding of the div. With us. 1, understanding 2, understanding 3, understanding 4, understanding 5, understanding 6, understanding of the divine.
And then here in the middle section, we'll be singing. First, let's just do it. This place is a community, unity, unity. This place is a community, unity for all. This place is a community, unity, unity. This place is a community, unity for all.
And then our section over here will be singing, the more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. For your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be.
Yeah, let's all stand together, and we're going to start with the ones. We go to 2, we go to 3, follow your leader, and we'll start over here, my friends. 3. 1, understanding 2, understanding 3, understanding 4, understanding 5, understanding 6, understandings of the divine. 1.
This place is a community, unity, unity. This place is a community, unity for all. This place is a community, unity, unity. This place is a community, unity for all. This place is a community, unity, unity. This place is a community, unity for all.
Great, can we all sing number 3 together? The
more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. For your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be.
Thank you, please be seated.
As we speak the words for extinguishing our chalice, we'll again alternate between the English and the Spanish. Go help.
Apagamos esta llama,
We extinguish this flame,
pero no la luz de la verdad,
but not the light of truth,
el color de la comunidad,
the warmth of community,
ni el fuego del compromiso.
or the fire of commitment.
Esto lo llevamos en nuestros corazones
These we carry in our hearts
y lo compartimos con el mundo
and share with the world
hasta que estemos juntos nuevamente.
until we are together again.
Like the Transylvanian villagers in one of our stories, each of us brought our own special light here this morning. Like the rocks and water and the living creatures in the other story, we all brought with us the gifts of our different perspectives, or like the youth group's song said, our different understandings of the divine. May we leave this service and this faith development year with lights brightened, perspectives broadened, understandings deepened, and the knowledge that in this place we are valued and loved.